I need to tell you about the most expensive conversation I have with clients every single week. Someone sits across from me and says, Michelle, I want to invest my money safely. I don't want to lose money, but I want to make money instead of having it sit there. And that's when I have to get real with them. Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Hung, your sassy investor. I'm an author, certified financial planner, and a senior wealth advisor at TriDelta Private Wealth in Toronto. Today, we're talking about what safe investing actually means, because most people have it completely backwards. If you've ever said you want to invest safely, this video is going to change how you think about money forever. So let's start with what I hear every week. I want to make money, but I want it to be safe. And I always ask the same question. Are you okay with slow growth? And then I hear, well, yeah, I don't want to lose money. So then I'm like, are you okay with not getting rich, not growing your wealth? Then they start to become a little bit more reluctant and they're like, I guess. And then I'm like, are you okay with not keeping up with inflation? And that's where the conversation gets quiet. Here's a truth bomb. This isn't investing. This is saving money. And there's a huge difference between the two. First, let's be clear with what safe vehicles actually are. High interest savings accounts and GICs are short-term savings vehicles. They're perfect when you cannot afford to lose the principal and you need the money in the next 2 to 3 years. Emergency fund, perfect for a high interest savings account. Planning a wedding for the next year, GICs will work. Retirement fund for the next 20 years? Okay, now we need to talk. Let's talk about what safe actually costs you. Right now, if you get a 4.5% GIC, which is pretty good, and you're in a 40% tax bracket, you're paying 1.8% of that in taxes. Your after-tax return is 2.7%. But inflation in Canada has been running around 3%. So your real return, negative 0.3%. You're literally paying for the privilege of watching your money lose value. So let me put this in real terms. If you had $500,000 in safe investments 10 years ago, earning 2.5%, while inflation ran at 3%, your purchasing power today will be equivalent to about $476,000. So you safely lost $24,000 of real wealth. But here's the kicker. It gets worse every year. Inflation compounds against you. Now, let's talk about what slow growth actually means for your future. I'm going to show you two investors, both starting with $250,000. Safe Sally puts everything in GICs, averaging 3% annually. Let's just say she keeps rolling it over year after every time it expires. Balanced Betty puts 60% in diversified investments, 40% in fixed income, averaging around 6% annually. After 20 years, Safe Sally has $452,000. Balanced Betty has $802,000. That's a $350,000 difference. Now, Sally might say, but I never lost money. And that's true, but she also never made money in real terms. While Betty's portfolio went up and down, it actually grew her wealth. And here's what I want you to understand. The biggest risk isn't losing money in the short term. The biggest risk is not having enough money for the long term. Market volatility is temporary. Inflation is permanent. So let's redefine safe investing, because this is crucial. Safe investing means your money maintains its purchasing power over time. You're building real wealth, not just nominal numbers. You can achieve your long-term goals. Safe investing does not mean your account balance never goes down. You never feel worried about market movements. You avoid all volatility. I have a client who had money sit in an awful low-risk bond fund for 25 years. Over that 25-year period, she lost 10%. Her initial $76,500 turned into $68,500 when it could have been closer to $400,000 instead. That is game-changing amount of money for her. Now let me ask you this. What's safer? A portfolio that goes up and down but averages around 6% over 20 years, or a portfolio that steadily earns 2% per year while inflation runs at 3%? The volatile portfolio preserves and grows your wealth. The safe portfolio guarantees you'll be poorer. And here's the thing about market volatility. It averages out over time, but inflation, it never comes back. Every year you don't keep up with inflation, you fall further behind permanently. My most recent client is a retiree and she requested a low risk portfolio. That means 80% of her portfolio is in low risk products like various actively managed bond funds and 20% in a low volatility equity fund. Yes, 20% of her portfolio is still in the stock market, but that's how she's going to continue to grow her money, albeit slowly, but still earn a real return and beat inflation. Look, I get it. Seeing your investments go up and down, it's uncomfortable. But you know what's really uncomfortable? Retiring with half the purchasing power you thought you'd have. GICs and high interest savings accounts have their place for short-term savings where you need the money in the next few years. But for long-term wealth building, they're not just ineffective, they're wealth destroyers. Real safe investing means accepting some short-term volatility to build long-term wealth. It means understanding that inflation is your enemy, not market fluctuations. Biggest myth about safe investing is that avoiding volatility keeps you safe. The truth is, avoiding growth is the riskiest strategy of all. If this video helped you understand the difference between saving and investing, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel.